Former Duterte ally Madeleine Alvarez endorses Vice President Robredo Thursday, March 24, after his party dropped Senator Ping Lacson as its presidential bet.
We reasonably believe that the only realistic option at this point, with roughly a month and a half left, is to converge with Leni Robredo's campaign. Together, we will pursue the realization of our collective aspirations to improve the chances of ordinary Filipinos at a better life.
Alvarez, who used to be loyal to Duterte when he was House Speaker, once called Robredo shameless for criticizing the administration's controversial war on drugs. The unlikely but strategic alliance is expected to boost Robredo's numbers in the Davao region. Earlier, Lacson resigned as chairman and member of Partido Reporma.
Yesterday, I was informed by the party president, former Speaker Madeleine Albright, that their slate in Davao del Norte, led by Party Secretary General and Provincial Governor Edwin Hubahib, has decided to endorse another presidential candidate.
Without Reporma, Lacson has no national party to endorse him. But Comelec Commissioner George Garcia says Lacson's name will still be printed as a candidate of Partido Reporma on the official ballots, which the Comelec has been printing since January. In endorsing Robredo, Alvarez says, while Lacson is the best and most qualified among the candidates, the electoral terrain in 2022 is far from ideal and fate had other plans. Alvarez acknowledges that Robredo's campaign continues to gain traction and says she also represents the ideals in line with the aims of Partido Reporma. The National Unity Party, or NUP, announces its endorsement of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. for president. In a statement Thursday, March 24, the party says Marcos Jr.'s call for unity as the basic strategy for economic recovery is consistent and supportive of the NUP's primary vision of one nation, one future. On Wednesday evening, March 23, Marcos Jr. joins members of the party in a meeting. Those present in the meeting include Majority Floor Leader Martin Romualdez, Marcos Jr.'s cousin and president of Lakas CMD. NUP has been an ally of Hugpong ng Pagbabago, the party Sara Duterte founded ahead of the 2019 midterm elections. It also allied with PDP Laban, the ruling party headed by Sara's father, President Rodrigo Duterte, after the 2016 polls.
Need more context, clarity, and perspective? Get the full picture with Rappler Plus. With exclusive content and events, you'll get an opportunity to discuss issues with reporters, experts, and featured guests, while helping Rappler continue its fearless journalism. Join now.
The Commission on Elections, or Comelec, conducts an unprecedented random inspection of ballots. Election observation groups and members of the media participate, following criticisms of alleged lack of transparency in the poll body's pre-election operations. On Thursday, March 24, 10 ballot boxes selected by accredited citizens' arms and political parties were brought to the NPO's conference room. Groups were allowed to randomly choose ballots for inspection and were given UV lamps to check for security features and unwanted marks. Observers were given disposable gloves to make sure the ballots would not be tampered. The randomly selected ballots were also fed into a vote counting machine, or VCM, to check if they would be recognized. Comelec Commissioner George Garcia says everything went smoothly during Thursday's testing of the ballots and no glitch whatsoever transpired. The Comelec was criticized for not giving election stakeholders access to the NPO, where 67.4 million ballots were being printed for the 2022 elections. Under the Omnibus Election Code, the Comelec shall allow entities designated by the poll body to observe the proceedings of the printing committee in connection with the printing of the official ballots. As of Thursday, 58.8 million ballots, or 87.2% of the ballots needed for this year's polls, have been printed. The first female U.S. Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, dies on Wednesday, March 23, at the age of 84. Her family announces her death on Twitter, saying she died of cancer. Albright served as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations from 1993 to 1997 in U.S. President Bill Clinton's administration. She was then nominated by Clinton to become the first female Secretary of State and served in the role from 1997 to 2001. US President Joe Biden expresses his sympathies, saying, "Madeleine Albright was a force. She defied convention and broke barriers again and again." US flags are flown at half-staff at the White House and government buildings, including embassies, until March 27 to honor Albright. Albright fled from Prague as a child to escape the Nazis. She would later emigrate to the United States, become the first female US Secretary of State, and a pop culture feminist icon. BTS member J-Hope tests positive for COVID-19. His agency, Big Hit Music, announces in a statement, JHope took a PCR test on Wednesday, March 23 after suffering from a sore throat. They add JHope has already completed his 3 rounds of vaccines and is not experiencing any other symptoms. He's currently being treated at home while under quarantine. Big Hit Music also assures fans JHope will be joining the scheduled group activities for April once he fully recovers. BTS is set to fly to the US soon, where they will hold 4 live concerts.